Hello, everyone. How are you? Today, I am recording my podcast, and I like to do these live because I know a lot of you don't listen to podcasts or you'd rather listen here. I will probably... I need to share that. Good idea. Oh, look at that. It lets you do that right for... I apparently am not doing enough lives at all. What is in my collar? Oh, good. By the way, Jesse at the design studio who gave me this sweatshirt after Project 90. I'm going to live in it for probably a week. It's fine. I'm going to put on a different sweatshirt later today, or shirt later today, because I get to do this live on Lime Life's corporate page, which you're all invited to, by the way. It is at 4 p.m. Central Time. So in an hour and a half. I'm kind of nervous about it. But if you want to join, I'll be sharing it onto this page so you can see it. Okay. We're going to get this podcast recording started, and I will be honest, I'm a little nervous about this too, because first of all, this question keeps being asked, what is your MLM story? And MLM means multi-level marketing. So I sell cosmetics through a multi-level marketing company, which is completely taboo to a lot of people. A lot of people think that you're some kind of sellout when you are part of an MLM. And I am going to tell you, I know that people think that because I was definitely one of those people. Pretty judgy about it, to be honest with you. So if you don't know what multi-level marketing is specifically, I would say most well-known makeup MLM is probably Mary Kay, the Mary Kay cosmetic company, where people, they join, they sell, they recruit people to sell with them, and yada, yada, yada. That's the end of the story. I have been asked by, a lot of people, how'd you choose your MLM? Why did you decide to get into that industry? What the hell's the problem with you? What's wrong? And so I guess I want to answer it. And I'm kind of beating around the bush because it's just you feel so judged, and you feel like when people jump on to hear this story, they're just going to pop off because they're what a bunch of garbage. That's not for me. So I guess I need to approach it in the sense that I don't know if it's for you or not, but this is what happened with my experience, and maybe that'll inspire you, or maybe you'll think of somebody that maybe needs to do this for themselves. So before I got started in MLM, I was a cosmetologist, makeup artist, hairstylist, worked in a salon for several years, my own salon, worked self-employed the whole time that I was a makeup artist. But or hairstylist, before I went to cosmetology school, because I didn't go to cosmetology school until I was 30, which is late in life. If you walk into any cosmetology school in America, you will not see a bunch of 30 and 40-year-olds hanging out, walking around. It's just not how that goes. I never went to cosmetology school before that because I will be very honest with you, and this is something that I say a lot. I thought going to cosmetology school was plan B for losers. Kind of thought the same thing about an MLM career as well. So after high school, I didn't go to college, but I did work my way through corporate America, working in engineering, actually, in civil engineering, and then process systems engineering, and then I worked in higher education for a short time. All the whole time as a writer. I started out as an administrative assistant, worked my way into doing technical specification writing, proposal writing, was a full-time proposal writer for several ventures of my life, actually. And then I just found myself hating the grind. I hated the grind. I hated getting up and being at work at 8 a.m. and punching out at 5. I hated dressing up every day. I hated working for somebody else. I wanted to work for myself. I actually wanted to write about hair. I wanted to be a beauty blogger. So I decided to apply to be a beauty blogger on several websites, and they were like, you don't know garbage, you don't know anything about being a beauty blogger, why would we hire you, why would we pay you? So I also, at the same time, I was working side gigs as a hair and makeup artist for weddings, not licensed, not trained in any way, and I started doing that in Chicago on the weekends. And the funny part of that story is that there is a makeup artist there named Sonia Roselli, who's a very good friend of mine now. And then we were becoming friends. But when she found out that I was not trained or licensed, she was like, what are you doing? But undercutting people. Go get yourself legit. Go to school. If you're going to do this, go to school. Or I'm going to turn you into the state. she was gonna turn me into the state of Illinois. And I remember talking to her on the phone and just saying, like, God, I just cannot imagine sitting in cosmetology school with all these kids for like a year. And I think the program's 15 months. And she was like, who cares? It's a year of your life. Get it done. Like, I don't know. She talked me into it, and I am so glad I did it. When I started, I never really thought I would do hair and makeup. I thought I was just going to write about it, but it turned out I was pretty talented. I loved it, and so I opened my own studio. Well, several years into that, I was not a great business owner. I was not good at the planning or the financials, and I was struggling to actually make money. I discounted everybody so hard. Like, if you came in and I suspected that maybe you were having a hard time financially, I would just give you whatever I had. It was terrible business practice. Let me just say that. But it financially broke me to do so many favors for people and to never raise my prices. And I just had a hard time with that. And so I decided I was going to write full time. I was working for About.com at the time. I was going to quit doing the salon and write full time. I was also having issues with Raynaud's syndrome. I have this like circulation problem to my hands and feet. And I was dropping my combs and my scissors. And I don't know if you know this, but cosmetology scissors are like hundreds of dollars. Hundreds of dollars. And I was dropping them all the time and was having issues with my grip and nerves, and my rheumatologist was like, if you can't get this under control, like you're going to have neuropathy in your hands and feet as you get older, and it's not reversible nerve damage. So, I kind of took that into account and decided I was going to write full time for my basement. And I did that for like a solid month. So Eric and I my husband and I just moved into a new house. I put my office together down the basement, and dear God, I was like, what am I doing? I was so bored. I had such writer's block. I had nothing to do and nowhere to be and nobody to keep me accountable. And so I kind of sat on social media and watched other people. And I'd been watching this woman named Kat Aragon, who is now, of course, a great friend and mentor. But she had started selling this Lime Life by Alcone makeup. And I judged her so hard because I thought she was selling Tupperware makeup. And, I kind of already touched on that. At the time, financially, my husband and I had just bought a new house. I just quit all the income that I had, more or less, to work full-time as a writer for About.com. And I was failing miserably at it. I was really, really just in a mental bad place. And I didn't have any drive to do that writing anymore. It was kind of gone. And I watched Kat sell her Tupperware makeup, and she really got my attention one day when she posted pictures she's a celebrity makeup artist in Washington, D.C. And she posted some pictures of her doing makeup for Michelle Monaghan. I don't know if you know who Michelle Monaghan is, but she is like an actress. She's done a lot of movies, but she's from my hometown. She was a year ahead of me in school. And it just caught my attention, like when people... When you can relate to something or somebody, you just like focus a little more. You pay a little bit more attention. So I was watching, and she did a post one day and said that nobody in Iowa was selling her Tupperware makeup. So I was like, I'm pretty competitive. And I thought this is probably my opportunity to jump on this. So the things that I liked about it was I could reinvent myself as a makeup artist. And I thought, I really miss working. And it had only been like 2 months, but I miss working with people. I miss seeing people. I love art and artistry and makeup. And so I was like, well, this is a way that I can continue doing it without having to do it all day. As a makeup artist, you pretty much work weddings. Where I live anyway, in Iowa, you're not doing celebrities and every day. You're not doing television every day. You're not doing those kind of glamorous things that the, makeup artists do. So I thought, well, I could still do that, and that wouldn't bother my circulation so much, like, washing hair and having your hands in water all the time. And all these products were professional products. It was like foundation that I had already loved and had used in the past, but couldn't get my hands on in Iowa because it wasn't available unless you go to like a makeup show or something. And I thought, what a cool way to get like everything that I need to put a makeup kit back together, because I didn't have like a professional makeup kit really anymore. And the other thing I liked about the products was the makeup products anyway, is everything is palleted. So everything comes in like this handy little palette. So it's, you know, it's easy, it's sleek, it's not heavy. I don't have to open up 100 things. I got all my blushes in one. I got all my eyeshadows in a couple, you know, that sort of thing. And I thought, okay, this is good. I'll have this like clean professional palette and then I can like sell this stuff to people. So when, as a makeup artist, you know, you do somebody's makeup for their wedding and they love their lipstick and they want to buy it. So you got to send them to Sephora or Ulta or something. And it was just kind of a rigmarole. So I thought, well, this is how I'll make extra money and make commission. I'd started dabbling in YouTube. Wanted to do like makeup tutorials on YouTube, quickly found out that making money on YouTube is also a rigmarole. I looked into like getting affiliate links and like being like sponsored, you know, like, oh, this company sent me this product and I'm going to test it out for you today. And then you get this referral link to like save 10% or something. And I quickly found out that doesn't pay for nothing. YouTube doesn't pay for nothing. I mean, it eventually can and does, but like, I know what it takes to make that happen now. And it's a lot, and some of what you have to go through is rather humiliating. Check my YouTube videos in the comments on them sometime. People are the worst. So I thought, well, this will boost my makeup artistry. This will give me a nice clean kit. This will give me stuff that I can sell to people, and I can like tell other makeup artists about it. Who wouldn't do this if you were a makeup artist, right? And so I signed up and put my head down, and I decided I was going to the top of the company in 6 months. Can't take more than 6 months. Like, I'm smart. I know about marketing. I know about makeup. People like me, generally speaking. Hell yeah, they're going to do this with me. And it was funny because a couple of months later, we had this like incentive to join the company for like some cheap price. And I had like 12 people join me. And I was like, that's it. I'm done here. Boom, I made it. And it turns out most of them did absolutely nothing with their business. All kinds of things to learn there. I won't go into. I'm trying to keep this dedicated to my story. But I did, though, put my head down for several years. And it took me about 2 years to replace my income that I had with between all the freelance writing that I was doing in makeup artistry. I did a lot more weddings. I got a lot better at makeup artistry. Like, I was able to practice more with more consistent products in my kit. And like, I don't know, like all kinds of things happened to start as far as being a makeup artist goes. Like, I started learning, you know, when like photographers at weddings would take pictures of my kit all laid out. I was always so proud of it. I still am, because it's really pretty and everything matched, and, you know, the pretty lighting and all that stuff. It's just kind of like a dream to be able to have that. Because as a freelance makeup artist, it's so hard to make enough money. Like, it seems like you just make enough money to barely supply your kit. And then by the time you start making money on top of that, you've got to resupply your kit. And so selling the products on the opposite end. And then I started doing like makeup lessons where people could come and, you know, do a makeup lesson. I could actually sell them the products I did the makeup lesson with. And all that just made a lot of sense, right? And as a makeup artist, that was great. And I thought that would be like it. I thought that would be how I would run the business. So then I started attending and speaking at Limelife's their like conferences and stuff that they would have. So like if you're in any multi-level marketing, they have conferences. It's like part of the draw, going to these conferences and seeing all the people that you met online or whatever, and your team. And the conferences quickly turned from how to make money to how to correct your mindset, or how to have a better mindset, a better attitude, a stronger vision. Like all of these like things that I'd never in my life been exposed to, ever. I don't know if I wasn't listening or paying attention, because I know these things have existed for a long time. Like I knew who Tony Robbins was and things like that, but I just never really thought any of that ever applied to me. And but as I started getting exposed to it, I started realizing how like I was really able to change a lot about who I am and how I think and how I operate. And I mean, you go through any self-development like courses or even just talks, books, whatever, you get really kind of deep down and ugly inside about about who you are and who you want to be. And it was really the first time I was ever exposed to the idea of just the impact of positivity. And then the idea that you, like little old you, Kendra, living in a cornfield in Iowa, can make a big impact on your community, the people around you, maybe even the world. Like when you read those quotes that say like, be the change you want to see in the world. Like, sometimes you read those quotes and you're like, oh, that's cute. Yeah. And you put it on your wall or whatever. Like, it was the first time I ever really believed that I could be the change in the world, a positive force to change. Because I always kind of believed in the past that was kind of crap, garbage, if you will. I just believed that if you had to be somebody in order to be impactful in the world. And how was I ever going to be somebody? I like everybody has like that negative self-talk and things that go through their head. My negative self-talk is, who do you think you are? And so to like think you can do something special or awesome. And through some of the self-development that I was doing with Lime Life, I changed my mindset entirely from like, who do you think you are that you can change the world, to who are you to not think you can change the world? And that kind of spiraled into something interesting. So what the cool thing that happens when you join direct sales, and what happened for me anyway, when I joined this direct sales company, is I started doing trainings and videos, and like all these people that had already joined from like all over the country at the time started like really loving what I had to offer. So I started getting this like really great like national impact of like followers and friends and fans, or whatever you call that, through social media. And I went to one of our conferences. I believe this was in 2018, I think. And like my husband laughed at me because like people would come up and take selfies with me and like be like, thank you so much for your trainings and for everything that you do for the company. I really appreciate it. And they would like take pictures. My husband was like, oh my God. And well, when we got home, my husband said to me, what are you going to do now without your entourage? Like, we got off the airplane and nobody recognized me in my own town. And not only did I think he was a complete jerk, but it also really opened my eyes to the fact that I was not making an impact in my own backyard. That I was focusing and concentrating so much on like people in this company that I wasn't really recognizing that I could make the same impact on people that were not in the company, or that were like literally in my town. And so what ended up connecting, and it was through a long series of events that I won't go into, was that I had never been exposed to any of that like empowerment and self-improvement. And I bet a lot of people in my community hadn't either. And by this point, I'd already tapped into the entrepreneurial community in my town, and decided that if they had what I have, being in network marketing, like that's where maybe we could make some real impactful change. And through a series of events, like I never would have guessed that Lime Life would have inspired this. I never would have guessed that Lime Life, like when I started, I was starting to make money doing makeup. I started to make money because I loved makeup, and I wanted to like have the best makeup kit, and I wanted it to be cute and clean, and I wanted to do it before anybody else in Iowa did it. And then I found myself developing a women's empowerment conference, and not just for network marketers or for people in my company, not for just people here, but like for all of the people, because you go up together, like all kinds of great things happen, right? So I literally from the ground up developed a women's empowerment conference. It's called You Conferences. I talk about it quite a lot on this page and on my personal page. And we now have a conference that has been ridiculously impactful to the people in our community. We're having literally hundreds of people attend, even through this pandemic and COVID-19. Like people are attending. We've made it virtual, and 100% of that credit, it would have never happened. I wouldn't have even known I wanted to do something like that if I hadn't learned it through Lime Life. Like, it's really crazy that, and kind of one of the things that when you get into network marketing or you get into like self-development, one of the things I struggled with for years, probably 2 years at least, was that they kept saying, well, you need to talk about your why. Define your why. What do you want to do? What are your big goals? And I didn't know other than I wanted to make a bunch of money. So I just knew that I wanted to make money. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be a top leader. I wanted to be somebody that like people looked up to, and I had no clear path whatsoever. And I would actually kind of get mad when people would talk about having to have that in order to have something. Well, how do you know where you're going? If, how can you work towards something if you don't know where you're going? Well, I don't know, Karen. I don't know. And I mean, I'm glad that it turned out the way that it did. I had to be inspired to find it. And it was at one of these conferences. It was in 2018, I think. Maybe it was 2017. It was 2017. 2017, I went to this conference, and like they got you to kind of dig that out. Like, what did you want to do? And I said, and this is really crazy, if you followed Project 90 in any way, this is nuts what I said. I said that I wanted to walk into like every trailer park in America and inspire the women and girls there that they can do anything they want. Like that they can accomplish any big dreams. Like, if you followed Project 90, which I have to do another podcast on, and I promise I will soon, about remodeling a trailer home for a woman that lost her home in a natural disaster. Like I accomplished that. I thought it would be more figurative, like, than literal. But that's like, it's kind of goosebumpy how that happened. And the other things that have happened along the way that I never would have guessed, like community. Now as a makeup artist, I get to pick and choose what I want to do and how I want to do it. I have a studio here in my town, and I do a lot of, when I'm not doing Project 90s, I do a lot of, and there's not a pandemic slowing everything down, like makeup lessons, and, I do makeup for different events and stuff that people have. But I can pick and choose that. When I was having to be just a makeup artist, I had to work constantly, and my income was limited by the number of hours I had in the day and by what I could charge. And I always felt so much pressure to be competitive with my pricing, because if I wasn't super competitive, people wouldn't hire me. And if they didn't hire me, I didn't make money. And if I didn't make money, then it all came crashing down. But now, because I have, I've built this team and I'm empowering other people, and we're, building our businesses together, makeup artists, non-makeup artists, hobbyists, people that just love skincare and makeup or whatever it is a being, I'm constantly bringing an income in on that. Now I can say, no, I charge $200 to do makeup. I don't, but I could say that if I wanted to. I can say, no, I'm not going to get up every morning. I'm not going to take away from my family every morning at 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. to go do weddings every weekend. I'm not going to hustle and try to cram 4 faces into 1 hour so I can make more money. And there's nothing wrong with that hustle. I had to go through that hustle myself anyway, but I couldn't sustain it long term. I couldn't long term do that, and it wasn't. I thought that was my dream, but it wasn't. And now I can enjoy that part of my career again. Like now, when people want me to do their makeup for an event, I have a beautiful place for them to go and to like hang out and feel welcome, and I can earn the money that I'm worth, and I can enjoy it. And I didn't get to do that before. Like, it makes art fun again. So that kind of goes to the other thing I mentioned, Project 90, and I guess I want to address it. The other thing that it's allowed me to do is to respond. Sticking with this network marketing company, 6 years, it'll be in March. Sticking with it, not giving up, continuing to build it, trusting, believing in it, not being ashamed of it, has given me a very reliable, sustainable income. And because of that, when our community was devastated by a derecho, a storm with up to 140 mile an hour winds, and if You're playing at home. That's Hurricane 3 and 4 force winds in the middle of a cornfield with no warning for an hour. Things were broken. And I had the opportunity and the honor to take 4 months off of working to focus full time on rebuilding my community. I don't know. I'm sure something else will come along, but I've never been prouder of anything in my entire life. And it made every moment of like hustle and grind so worth it to be able to continue to earn a paycheck and to be able to rebuild my community and like just pour my heart into the people around me that were like hurting and suffering and lost their homes. And, I never would have guessed that was something I would even be interested in doing before. And like that's leading to opportunities to work with Habitat for Humanity. Like I've had, because of everything that I've learned in business, and as a business owner, if you tell me a multi-level marketing company is not a business, you can feel like that all you want, but it's just straight up not true. But because of my success with marketing myself in network marketing, I've been able to become a SCORE mentor. So I mentor small businesses on their social media presence and their marketing efforts. I don't have a marketing degree. I don't have a marketing firm. By all intents and purposes, I'm not even qualified, but because I've had all this training through network marketing, and because they've helped me learn all these things, I get to pass that along to people that need it. And then because then I get to meet all the most amazing people and businesses and startups and help them succeed. And that's just a crazy awesome feeling, I don't know. Maybe you don't. I know. Anyway, so that's my MLM story. That's why I've stuck around for as long as I have. That's why you don't see me leaving and going somewhere else or chasing that. Right now I get to be in this philanthropal time of my life. And I don't see very many people getting to do that at my age. I'm 42. I see a lot of people that volunteer with me are in their 60s and 70s and 80s because it took that long for them to have that opportunity to do that, to have sustainable income or in the time available. And I'm not retired. I don't claim I'm retired. I definitely work hard. But that's been a very cool thing to be a part of. So when you ask me what has MLM brought to you, I would say it's funny you ask, because it's given me everything I didn't know I wanted, everything I didn't know I needed. And I can only imagine what's next. It has opened up doors upon doors upon doors for me that are, I can only imagine what's behind door 2021, frankly. Because, and I'll end with this, I'm about done. 2020 was an awful year. But when I look for most of us, and in general history, we'll look back and be 2020 was the year we all almost gave up. But I can truly count amazing opportunities that I had because of it. Early in the pandemic, I took 2 months off of work. I still worked quite more than I did during Project 90 to make face shields and for medical workers that didn't have them because supply was so low. We 3D printed and created face shields and shipped them all over our state to hospitals and care centers and emergency workers and fire departments and police departments all over the state. We made, I think, 20,000 face shields, 20,000 of them. And I got to take days off of work to do that. We impacted 20,000 lives. And the cool people that I met during that, I don't know, I could go on and on about all of the opportunities that I've had out. So when I tell you, or if you ever hear me say it's more than makeup, I mean that on period. Oh, so that's it. That's my MLM story. I hope you enjoyed learning. I hope you get something out of it. And the last thing I'll say is this: you never know if something's going to work for you until you try it, until you work it, until you give it an opportunity to try. And maybe my company's not it for you. Maybe it's a different one. But if you're interested, Lime Life has a special that you can join for $21 this month. I think it's stupid to have a $21 join deal, not gonna lie, but if you're interested in that, you can hit me up, yo. I cannot promise you it'll be easy. I cannot hold your hand and make it work for you. And I will tell you, if you talk to me about it, if it's not for you. I will straight up say, don't do this. Not for you. But if you want to talk about it, we can. And I don't believe in spending more money than you have. I don't believe in stocking up in order to get to the next place. I don't believe in any like mass messaging or ugly, spammy MLM techniques. And you'll, so I don't know if that's something you're looking for. Hit me up. And I think that's all. Follow me for more life tips.